Hello and welcome to Frank's School. Here's Roger wanting to help me. Rather hope he doesn't. Uh, I'm going on with water wheels. This is a whole series. This is the sixth video in this series, uh, and it's the 6th year, 43rd video day first video. I say water wheel at Detmold, Germany. Detmold is a an open air museum, just like Gifhorn is. Well, that year with the Hawklings, I went to 4, but that's kind of another story. But in any case, I would say see the playlist Detmold if you'd like to see that open air museum, what it's really like. It's the largest open air museum in Germany, and Germany has many, and they're really good. But anyway, it's quite a long playlist. It'd be like spending the day at Detmold, I guess. But it's not about water wheels. It's not about mills in general. But right at the beginning, there is right at the lowest part of the museum, there is this water powered mill, uh, and you'll hear Shirley, or I quote Shirley in there as saying a El Dorado number 2, because Thomas had said when we got to Gifhorn 2 days before that this was Frank's El Dorado because there are all these windmills. Well, here was number 2 because here was a mill, and she knew how much I like mills. Um, the dry time is coming in real time. This is middle of June, 14th, 15th. And the dry time is coming. It would be a very, very unusual year that we didn't go into a dry time, which was none too soon for the haymakers because it had been too wet to make hay. But largely the hay has been made. My barn has got this year's supply of hay in there. My neighbors are very efficient haymakers. Uh, there have been times where there have been virtual droughts at this place. Basically, the spring runoff is accompanied by a. It's not really a rainy season, but it's things. There's plenty of moisture around. But then you go into July and August and September, it gets dry. And I think it was in 1984. I think it was that there was a flood, June 25th. Not right here, but real near. And then here it didn't rain again, June 25th. It didn't rain again until mid-September, by which time it really hardly mattered. So the dry time's coming, but the water's still coming, and that's why I'm dealing with water wheels now. I sort of chase the seasons still. All right, at this site, and again, you haven't watched this video if you don't click on the link that I give you here. This is what it's about. I'd like you to see that mill. It's not terribly long. DO stands for details of an hors d'oeuvre at Detmold Open Air Museum is the name of it, but that number would probably you'd probably find it just fine. And I'm going to give you the link. Anyway, it's a flax stamping mill for making linen. The wheel is actually turning, and so is some of the mechanism on the inside. It's turning slowly. Uh, uh, and that book that I had shown at a certain point, yeah, I showed it earlier, a treatise on hydraulics, written in 1889 or something like that. It had said that water wheels need to be designed to be at their maximum efficiency when there's the least amount of power. Which, I guess it's logical, but you don't usually think about it. Anyway, this wheel is turning very slowly. And I noticed that there's no visible spillage. A complaint I have about overshot wheels is that as it gradually goes past the axle, water starts to spill out the front. Well, it does if there's lots of water, but if there's not very much water, the way those buckets are shaped, they hold that water until they finally just tip it out right at the bottom. I kind of caught my attention that you can't see any spillage at all from the buckets. And things to note that I don't. Well, I do comment on the one. Before we go into the mill, if you look down, you're seeing the top of what's called a trash rack, a screen like it's stakes sort of to keep sticks and stuff from getting into the mill, and also the rollers. on the cams. Once you get inside, you know, a cam is, there's a lobe that lifts something in a cam, but it's a pretty nice touch that on this, those lobes are actually rollers. So I'd point them out. Anyway, I guess I can be brief, which is good, but you really need to look at that if you want to see a good example of a water wheel up close. One other thought. I don't know if I'll go to it, but I had talked about wheels driven by impact. There's in Minnesota, I just saw on YouTube this morning, there's a video about an up and down sawmill, water-powered sawmill in Minnesota. Well, I looked and saw Minnesota. It's not very long. And it's a pretty good video that shows it. And that up and down sawmill is being driven, you can clearly see it, by a small impact wheel on the underside. Not very efficient at all, but you can see it. If I had said that I didn't have an easy way to find the footage of that one in Norway. All right, bye for now.